Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we have a John Doe found August 14th, 1989. Estimated age between 40 and 60 years old. Estimated PMI is just 2 days. Just 2 days. 5'10" estimated, 160 pounds estimated. Found in Pueblo, Colorado. Remains recovered in Pueblo, Colorado. And they don't know who he is. His hair was like red auburn color. Hair was reddish in color. And I wonder if it could have been like more of a reddish blonde or more of a brownish color with a bit of reddish in it, or if he had red hair. Bushy mustache. And his clothing was blue, yellow, and white flannel shirt with arms cut off, old blue jeans, black, black athletics tennis shoes, black Casio watch, and plastic band. And this is the image we have. You know, they didn't take a picture of him, and it's like a black and white sketch. So then, it's kind of hard to tell because we don't have a good picture of somebody showing their teeth. We don't know who it could have been. We don't know if he was from Colorado or if he was visiting and traveling through. Wow. So we're going to look at some missing persons. The first one I have is Richard Stanley Meyer. He went missing in July 29th. That's like 2 weeks before this John Doe was found. And he's about 5'10", but he weighed, around 200 pounds, and this is only 160 pounds. Well, it says 180 to 250. And this gentleman weighed 160. I don't know if he could have lost weight or not. I don't know if it could be him or not, because he was a volunteer camp host for U.S. Forest Service. He was last seen in Nederland, where he had gone to church and had lunch with a friend. Newspaper reports also indicated he was a preacher and a master electrician. His car, 1978 Dodge Monaco, was also missing. So a volunteer camp host, and this is 2 weeks later, so I don't know. But this says he had dark brown straight hair, so I don't know. Blue eyes, shoe size 11E, glasses, tags were expired. There's his license plate number. And I didn't think that looked anything like him, but here's two pictures of him, and here is the John Doe, and I'll go back and forth on the pictures of him a couple of times in the John Doe. I was trying to look at this one to see, if he lost weight, if it could have looked like him at all. I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. Around the eyes, maybe? Yeah, maybe around the eyes. If his hair was a little bit longer and he'd lost a little bit of weight. I don't know. And I don't know. Whoops. That's a different missing person. So there's that. And since they had the camp and they had the camp host and he went missing 2 weeks later, could this have been another one of those camp hosts? Another camp host? I don't know. Okay, so then I'm looking for other missing persons that might be around that height, and I don't really see anybody. There is someone that went missing from South Carolina, but he was only 26. South Carolina is really far away. 5'10", 145 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. A scar on chin, a scar on left eye, wears eyeglasses, behavior disorder. Last seen September 1st, 1989, so this is after that John Doe was found. After that John Doe was found, this Jerry Von Jones went missing from South Carolina. And said that he possibly headed for California. So, And then we have Alan Hoffman, 5'10" to 6 foot tall. Glendale, Arizona, only 25 years old, so he's not between 40 and 60. Last seen in the area of 44th Avenue and Cactus Road in Glendale, Arizona. Allegedly left with a friend in his vehicle. His friend's remains, as well as the car, were found November 1989, about 25 miles east of Medview, Arizona. So you would think if something happened to him, he'd be found right there in Arizona. Strawberry blonde hair, blue eyes. Wow. I wonder what happened to them. And he kind of reminded me of the John Doe a little bit. It just seems awful far away, though. And then we have a man that went missing in Pahrump, Nevada, 36 years old, 5'9" to 5'10". I think his hair is too dark. He went missing July 21st, 1989. And that's pretty far away, too. Just says he was last seen at his home in Nevada. He had black hair, so it couldn't be him. But I did want to include him because he's, about the same time, about the same height. I thought, why not include him? Standard men's haircut with sideburns. Because scars on right wrist. And here's a photo of him. And kind of reminds me of, what was that detective show that used to come on way back in the day? Rockford Files. It kind of reminds me of Rockford. I know it's probably crazy and it's out there, but the way he's standing and stuff. Then we have Daniel Turpin, went missing in Lakewood, Washington, 1989. 26 years old, and his hair is too dark. It just says he could be anywhere from 5 foot tall to 5'10", 160 to 170 pounds. It doesn't, I don't think it gives us any details at all. Wears glasses, brown hair, brown eyes, mustache and beard, and no circumstances. We don't know what happened to him. He just went missing, and his hair doesn't look reddish at all, but I don't know. I wanted to include him. Who is this poor guy? Who is this poor guy that went missing? Right? He had really straight teeth. Oh, it's so sad. Who could he be, right? 2 days. And I tried to look at the Doe Network and see. And here, well, let's look at the Doe Network really quick. I went by chronological. I'm going to do geographical. So, I just feel like, who could that be, right? 1989. He went missing in 1888. I just don't. He reminds me of him, but he would have had to have dyed his hair, right? And his hair looks kind of reddish. But he would have had to have lost a little bit of weight, and his hair would have had to have been longer. He kind of reminds me of him. But he didn't go missing until September 24th, 1990, right? So, I don't know. And he didn't go missing until November. I just don't see anybody. 5'9", endangered missing September 24th. He went missing, over a month later. Brown hair, blue eyes. Last seen in Fort Morgan, Colorado. Wonder if somebody got the date wrong and thought they saw him, and they didn't. His car was found a short time later next to an abandoned bridge. Wonder if they got the date wrong. I don't know. You think that looks like him? 5'9", 160 pounds. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, I just didn't see anybody. He went missing in 1987. I don't think so, though. There just doesn't seem to be anybody that looks like him. He does, except he has gray hair. I just don't see anybody that could be him. 1987. I don't think that could be him either. You know? And then, what other states are nearby? Wyoming. I don't see anybody missing in Wyoming. So if I go to case files, missing, chronological, United States, he was found August 14th, 1989. I think I lost my place. Here I am, 1989. He went missing April 17th, 1989. I don't think he was the right height. I think he was too far away. 5'11", that's pretty close. 5'11", 170 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. Maybe. It just seems so far away. Alaska to Seattle. He drove away from his North Seattle home and didn't return home. Moved from Alaska to Seattle. Oh, no, that's not going to be him. I don't think so, because he's Washington, and his truck was found the next morning in Seattle, parked across the street from Alaska Ferry Terminal. And didn't they have a lot of different people that disappeared, and their vehicles were found near that Alaska Ferry Terminal? And so, yeah, he worked as a carpenter. That would be awful far away for him to be, but it seems like there were a lot of people that I think between 3 and more, maybe 4 or 5 people that went missing and their vehicles were found there at different times, different years, but, doesn't seem like it's that far away. And him being that far from, I don't know. Maybe, though. So there's one person, and let's see, he was found August 14th. So you think it would have to be somebody that went missing right around August 14th. So let's see what we have August 14th. So maybe they weren't reported missing until right after or before August 14th. We have this guy August 22nd, 1989. And this guy went missing July 26th. Florida. It's too tall, too far away. I don't know. So I just don't see anybody. Anyway, if you have any information about who that might be, please contact authorities and let them know. If you know what happened to any of those missing persons, please contact authorities with that information. Don't forget to pray for his family, his loved ones. Feel free to leave comments and have a blessed day. Bye bye.